A new campaign poll this morning shows Donald Trump dominating another big-name Republican in 3 swing states. The Quinnipiac poll in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida shows Trump leading Jeb Bush by between 4 and 18 points. But the poll also found many more Republicans in those states would never support Trump. Almost a third of voters say they could not vote for him. Bush is viewed more favorably.
In New Hampshire last night, speaking a few miles apart, Bush and Trump attacked each other's conservative credentials. Major Garrett covered the Trump town hall at Pinkerton Academy in Derry, New Hampshire. Major, good morning.
Good morning. In New Hampshire, presidential campaigns routinely cross paths. It's not uncommon for candidates to compete for votes literally blocks away from one another. Last night here in Derry, Donald Trump and Jeb Bush were that close, and the contrast in campaign styles and crowd reaction tells you a lot about where this race stands now.
Donald Trump filled the auditorium to the rafters.
Oh, my group. These are my people. I don't mind if you shout out. Be careful of your language because you're on about 7 live broadcasts tonight.
And an overflow room spilled out the door. Just a few miles away, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush drew a much smaller, far quieter crowd.
You know what's happening to Jeb's crowd, as you know, right down the street? They're sleeping. They're sleeping now.
At almost the same time, Trump was pumping up his crowd.
I love these rowdy crowds. Isn't it great?
Bush, who has fallen badly behind Trump nationally and in the early primary and caucus states, fielded a question from a nervous supporter. How can you beat the frontrunner?
You're talking about Trump, right? Yeah. You can mention his name. Mr. Trump doesn't have a proven conservative record. He was a Democrat longer in the last decade than he was a Republican. He's given more money to Democrats than he's given to Republicans.
Trump remained dismissive of many of his rivals.
The reason I talk about Jeb is, he was supposed to do well in New Hampshire. He's, going down like a rock. Now Rand Paul is going down the tubes. What is Hillary going to do about Hillary? Guys like Perry and our senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, who's got 0. How do you get 0?
And his supporters cast Bush and other Republicans as captives of special interests.
Trump is different because he doesn't have to answer to any donors, any lobbyists.
Trump agreed.
I'm not going anywhere, folks.
Trump says it feels as if he's leading a political movement, and he does draw big crowds, has solid poll numbers, but also has negatives. High negatives in those polls, and we met voters here more curious about Trump than committed to his candidacy. But as this week's cover of Time magazine says about all of this, deal with it. Trump's next event tomorrow evening, Mobile, Alabama. The campaign has reserved a stadium, and Gail, Trump is predicting a crowd of between 30,000 and 40,000.
All right, we are dealing with it. Thank you, Major.